شريعة، بأي دين، بأي دولة يا سيد حسن؟
Good afternoon. You're watching the English newscast on Future Television. I'm Yumna Nofai. These are today's headlines. Maronite Patriarch Bashar Ra'i warns about linking the presidential elections to the armed and sectarian clashes in the region. 2 people died and 5 others injured after a suicide bomber blows himself up in Karnak Temple in the Egyptian city of Luxor. A leading Al-Qaeda figure and 3 suspected Qaeda members are killed in a U.S. drone strike in Yemen's jihadist-held city of Mukalla. Maronite Patriarch Bashar Ra'i is expressing concern over Lebanon losing its primordial role, he said, warning of linking it to the armed and sectarian clashes in the region. Due to violations of the constitutional and the national pact, he said, they are witnessing Lebanon's maximum deviation with the obstruction of the presidential elections and linking of the armed and sectarian clashes in the region with the polls. He added that it is painful to see Lebanon deviating from its role as a nation of coexistence, equality between Muslims and Christians, and as a system based on freedom and democracy. He called on political leaders to return to their conscience and realize the harm inflicted against the country, its people, and its institutions. Just to remind you, 14 months have now passed since the paralysis of the presidential elections, the parliament, and recently the cabinet. Progressive Socialist Party leader MP Walid Jamlad is describing some Christian leaders as delusional, he says. It's delusional to think that they will become the new president, stressing he will not withdraw the candidacy of his nominee MP Henri Hello. Both Free Patriotic Movement leader MP Michel Aoun as well as LF leader Samir Jaja have announced their candidacies for the presidency. Their differences, in addition to the rivalry between the March 8 and 14 alliances, have left the presidential post vacant. President Michel Sleiman's term ended in May of last year. The Dirzi leader, who is seeking with Speaker Nabih Berri to prevent cabinet paralysis over the appointment of high-ranking security and military officials, stressed that the matter could wait until September when the tenure of the Army Chief General Jean Ahouaje ends. He described the Speaker and Prime Minister Tamam Salam as safety valves, noting that they are seeking a solution with the 2 officials to avert cabinet collapse. Hezbollah and the Syrian army captured new territory from the Nusra Front militants outside a northern Qalamun town. The Hezbollah-run station said the Allied forces took over the areas of Shabat al-Tasmeh and Shabat Wadi al-Ahmar on the southern outskirts of government-held Jarajir, destroying 3 military vehicles and a bulldozer. It said jihadis suffered dozens of casualties in the clashes, while the areas of Ras al-Kush and a section of Al-Qadoumi Valley were now under their firepower. A security source told the Daily Star that 10 jihadists were killed in the battle. Tuesday's fighting on Lebanon's northeastern border sparked when ISIS militants attacked 4 Hezbollah posts, killed 14 jihadis and 8 Hezbollah fighters, according to a security source. 2 people died and 5 others were injured after a suicide bomber blew himself up in Karnak Temple in the southern Egyptian city of Luxor in an escalation of attacks on tourist sites. Now, no group immediately claimed responsibility for the attack, but Islamist militants bent on toppling the Cairo government have killed hundreds of police and soldiers in the past, usually at checkpoints and barracks or police stations. A health ministry spokesman says 4 Egyptians were wounded, and casualties include a bazaar shop owner and 2 policemen. The Interior Ministry says it has already foiled a terrorist attack in which 2 attackers were killed and a 3rd wounded. A senior Interior Ministry security source says the attackers had tried to target a tourist bus near the temple before security forces engaged them. One of them detonated a bomb, and the remaining 2 attackers exchanged fire with security forces. 3 suspected Al-Qaeda members were killed in an apparent U.S. drone strike in Yemen's jihadist-held southeastern border town of Mukalla. The drone fired 4 missiles on 3 Al-Qaeda militants sitting near the port of Mukalla, killing them immediately. The strike killed a leading figure within Al-Qaeda, the official said, without disclosing his name. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has exploited months of fighting in Yemen between Iran-backed rebels and the beleaguered Saudi-backed government to consolidate its grip on Hadramaut's provincial capital of Mukalla, a city of more than 200,000. The United States considers ACAP to be the extremist group's deadliest global franchise and regularly targets its militants with armed drone strikes on Yemeni territory. It is the only government that operates the unmanned aircraft over the impoverished country. Coming up next, First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, tells high school students to let their struggles and hardships inspire them. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're watching the 4:20 o'clock news on Future Television. General Martin Dempsey held talks with Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Ya'alon as the visiting head of the U.S. Armed Forces sought to ease Israeli concerns over U.S. arms supply to the Gulf Arab states to deter Iran. At the start of a meeting that took place at Israel's Defense Ministry in Tel Aviv, Dempsey highlighted the close ties between the two allies' armed forces. The meeting took place hours after Ya'alon voiced concern that Washington's supply of advanced arms to Gulf Arab states to deter Iran could eventually challenge Israel's U.S.-backed regional military supremacy. Setting the stage for the talks with Dempsey, Ya'alon told the Security Conference of a need to maintain Israel's qualitative edge as it seeks increased defense grants from Washington. Hours after the meeting, Dempsey held an off-camera briefing to a small group of reporters during which he spoke about regional issues. Residents in Baghdad cleared the debris on some streets this morning after a series of bombings targeting public places and Iraqi security forces. Officials say that 20 people died in and around the city. The deadliest attack took place on Tuesday night when a car bomb went off near restaurants and shops in Palestine Street, eastern of Baghdad, killing 10 and injuring 24. Later on, two separate blasts near a vegetable market and on a commercial street killed 6 and wounded 21. Baghdad and outlying areas see near-daily bombings frequently claimed by ISIS, which seized large parts of the country during a blitz last year. Hundreds of African migrants were arrested in the coastal Libyan city of Tajura after security forces discovered a group preparing to sail to Europe. The group bound for the Italian port city of Lampedusa revealed to authorities the location of a farm that was used by people smugglers to house migrants before they set sail. A spokesman for the authority, which carried out the raid, says the farm had been housing between 750 to 1,000 migrants. Officials from the Tajura lament the lack of support from the Libyan government to tackle the growing migrant crisis and call for more financial support from the UN to stem the flow. First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, told high school graduates in Chicago to let their struggles and hardships inspire them and to not let them discourage. Speaking at the ceremony for the school's 177 graduates, all of which have been accepted to college, the First Lady told them to stay hungry for children around the world who have not had the opportunity that the students did.
Instead of letting your hardships and failures discourage or exhaust you, let them inspire you. Let them make you even hungrier to succeed. Now, and I know that many of you have already dealt with some serious losses in your lives. Maybe someone in your family lost a job or struggled with drugs or alcohol or an illness. Maybe you've lost someone you love, someone you desperately wish could be here with you tonight. And I know that many of you are thinking about Haidia right now and feeling the hole that she's left in your hearts. So yeah, maybe you've been tested a lot more and a lot earlier in life than many other young people. Maybe you have more scars than they do. Maybe you have days when you feel more tired than someone your age should ever really feel. But graduates, tonight, I want you to understand that every scar that you have is a reminder not just that you got hurt, but that you survive. I guarantee you that there will be all kinds of folks who are eager to help you, but they are not going to come knocking on your door to find you. You have to take responsibility to find them. So, if you are struggling with an assignment, go to a tutoring session. If you're having trouble with a paper, get yourself to the writing center. And if someone isn't helpful, if they are impatient or unfriendly, then find somebody else. You may have to go to a second or a third or a fourth person, but you keep asking. And if you understand that getting help isn't a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength, then I guarantee you that you will get what you need to succeed.
Jurassic World stomped through Los Angeles for the world premiere of the highly anticipated sequel. Stars Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt, along with wife Anna Faris, attended the massive rainy red carpet which took over the Hollywood and Highlands Center. In the fourth installment in the series, Jurassic World has grown into a sprawling monorail traverse theme park worth billions. New species of dinosaurs have been genetically created to satisfy the masses streaming through the gates. Here are the stars on the red carpet and a clip of the trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. It's huge to be here. This is in Hollywood right now. We've kind of taken it over. I can't believe it. I mean, all of us are just so giddy, the fact that this movie is finally coming out, because we're first and foremost Jurassic Park fans, and it's such an honor to be here.
Would you go to Jurassic
Thank you.
Park? Why or why not?
No, definitely not, because the dinosaurs eat people.
We can't lock him in.
Come on, touch it now.
Somebody talk to me. What is happening?
The wall's 40 feet high. Really think she climbed out?
Depends
On what?
what kind of dinosaur they cooked up in that lab. Evacuate the island. She's a highly intelligent animal. She will kill anything that moves.
Jurassic World opens in theaters across the country tomorrow, so make sure to get your tickets and watch this new summer blockbuster. And on that note, I will remind you of today's headlines. Maronite Patriarch Shaddai warns about linking the presidential elections to the armed and sectarian clashes in the region. 2 people died and 5 others injured after a suicide bomber blows himself up in a Karnak temple in the Egyptian city of Luxor. And a leading al-Qaeda figure and 3 suspected al-Qaeda members were killed in a U.S. drone strike in Yemen's jihadist-held city of Mukalla. Stay tuned for the French news with Serge Berberi. You just heard them there, and we'll see you again tomorrow for all the latest. Good night.
بأي حق، بأي شريعة، بأي دين، بأي دولة يا سيد حسن؟